It's the Fairy Vibrant Makeup channel. I'm filming 2 videos in one day, hence why you see my shirt again. I usually like to wear a t-shirt when I'm doing my makeup just because I get powder everywhere and I don't want to ruin my clothes. So that's pretty much why I wear a t-shirt in my videos. But I wanted to come on here and do a review for you. I wanted to do a talk-through review for you on this item. Because, well, a couple items. Few items. I lied. But because since I work in prestige, I'm not really familiar with all the mass brands. I mean, I am familiar with it, but I just don't really focus on those because my area is prestige, which is Urban Decay, Tarte, all of the high-end stuff. So in my department, I like to focus on the higher-end stuff just because that is what my department is, and that is where my sales are. So I don't typically go to any mass brands just because I like to speak from what I use to my guests, and that way they can, I'm not like lying to them and I'm telling them this is what I use, this is how I use it, how you use it, and what it work, you know, we adjust it to what will work for them, and then we go from there. And then I was at an Ulta because we don't carry this brand at our store, but I was at an Ulta that did. I swatched it and I was like, this is interesting. I'm intrigued. I am a sucker for eyeshadow palettes. Y'all know, you've seen my collection in my collection video. If you want to see that, I'll link it down below. I am going to do an updated version way later, towards late spring or so, because I want to make sure that I have everything settled down. But yeah, it is a little bit tricky to get that kind of, you know, palette that you really like. I've tried a lot of palettes. Some I'm like, ugh, what is that? Like my BoxyCharm one that I had filmed earlier today. I don't like that palette that much because it's not everyday use. Colors are pretty, it's just not my cup of tea. I do like palettes that have a lot of pigment and a lot of good blendability. Now, I usually go for Urban Decay, or my favorite eyeshadow brand has to be Kat Von D. I don't sell that at Ulta, but I do love it because the pigment is there, it's blendable, it's easy to use. I can create a look with the palettes that she comes out with. That's what I look for in a palette. However, since this intrigued me so much, I decided, and I had a bunch of points that I needed to use, I decided to use my points online to get this. Morphe. I don't know if you could see it. It is Morphe. I always talk trash, and my coworkers know I talk trash about Morphe. I'm just like, ugh, it's not that great. I ordered some brushes to try this out. These are brushes that typically everyone likes to go for. They like to really speak about it. I accidentally ordered 2 of the same brush for highlight, so I'm going to test both of them out. I don't have any flat brushes that I ordered. I just ordered this brush, which was very popular. This is the M441, and I have M507, M31, M501, and M510. So I'm going to test these brushes out along with this palette, and I'm going to let you know my first thoughts, impressions, and what I think this Morphe thing is all about. Now, I do have a flat brush over here that I am going to use in place, and this is my favorite brush to pack on any kind of color onto the lid. This is the Wet n Wild flat shader brush. I know it has a little bit of pigment on it, it's just stained, but I use it a lot. I do use Wet n Wild a lot. So I am pitting it against Wet n Wild, which is a much more affordable option. However, I do like It Cosmetics brushes as well, or like Sonia Kashuk. I love Sonia Kashuk, and there is a good range of kits that she comes with. It has everything you need inside, and I'm kind of regretting I didn't get that one on clearance. Why? But anyways, sorry, my camera just died on me for some reason. Anyways, I wanted to try out these eyeshadows, see what they're all about. I will do swatches separately. I probably will do them towards the end of the video so you can see the colors and what they look like with fingers versus brushes or whatever. And let's go ahead and dive into it. And I will do a talk through about it. Alright, so I did kind of dip my fingers just a little bit into it. So I opened it. There's a lot of colors in here. I'm almost like, wow, why did I order this when I don't need that many eyeshadows? Because I have a lot of eyeshadows, and this is a lot of eyeshadows. But I figured if I don't use it myself, I'd probably give it to my niece to play around with for fun or something. I mean, I use my points for it, so it's fine. But, or I might return it, I don't know. But it's huge. It's bigger than my head. It's ginormous. So, as you can see, the array of colors range from greens to purples, blues, oranges, more reddish browns. There's a lot of good transition shades in here, which I'm glad that she did include that. I do want to say that I don't really watch this YouTuber. I got this palette just because I wanted to try Morphe out. This was a popular item. I thought, let's try it out. Alright, so I'm going to zoom you in. We're going to get into this palette and definitely talk about it. I'm going to do a voiceover so that this doesn't take too long for me to explain it to you, what I'm using on my eyes. My eyes are already primed and prepped. I just need to do my transition shades and brow bone shades. I don't think she has a matte brow bone. And then after the tutorial of how I use this palette, I'm going to do swatches with brushes in my fingers and then let you know my overall thoughts at the end of the video. So let's get into it. Alright, I'm going to start using the M441 brush and then dip into this kind of light caramel color and then dip into the darker caramel color and just put that over in my crease and just blend it out with that crease brush. Then I'll take this darker burgundy shade and I'm going to actually use the M507 brush to kind of detail the crease a little bit more. It fit really nicely in the crease, so I really like that for cut creases. And I'm just blending out the edges. Then I'm taking a Wet n Wild brush and I'm just going to pack on this metallic red shade. It's almost like a cranberry on the outer portion of my lid. Then I'll switch over to this peachy pink color and put that in the inner portion of my lid and then blend the two together. Alright, taking the M507 again and using a darker brown to kind of cut the crease a little bit more and add more depth into that crease. I had to use this burnt orange shade to kind of blow out the crease a little bit more. It's really nice. It just didn't blend very well with the brown, so I guess it just takes a little bit of practice to do that. These colors are pretty pigmented. I just didn't like the layout of the colors, so that's probably why I didn't really like this palette. So I'm taking this kind of like that same shade I started off in my crease and just blending out the burnt orange. And I'll take this really like cream color and I'm just taking my Urban Decay brush and just putting it at my brow bone, and then taking this brush, it's the M431, and I'm smudging it out on the lower lash line with the matte teal. And then of course taking the 507, which I actually really like this brush, and then taking this mustard yellow and blending out the teal. Then taking this metallic teal and then just using my Naked Smoky brush and just kind of putting that in the inner portion of my lower lash line. Then I'm taking the M507 again and I'm putting this really, really light color onto my inner corner. Then I'm going to take both the highlighting brushes and I'm going to dip into that same color, put in my inner corner of my eye. And these highlight brushes are the M501 and the M510. I finished my look. Overall thoughts on the palette. I think the colors are very beautiful. The brushes were actually surprisingly really good. The only one I didn't like was, what is it called? The M431. This one right here, it's a bit scratchy, so for my lower lash line, I don't typically like it. When I was blending out that teal, I didn't really like that. So I might end up just like concentrating it into the crease like I did this one. This one I liked. This is the M507. This is actually really nice to get in there. I was able to kind of really blend that brown shade in right nice and tight in my crease. I love this. I don't know why I'm saying this, but the M441 for my crease, oh wow, it's a lot softer than what it looks. It's very soft. I typically like using the Wet n Wild or my Luxie Beauty ones. My Luxie Beauty ones are my favorite ones. And these were very inexpensive, so I was like, why not? Let's try it out. I really loved the highlighter brushes. Now this one was actually a lot softer than I anticipated, but it really got, like, it got in there. I like it. I'm keeping this. This one was very pretty too. I love how soft it is, and it just got, look at that. And I used an eyeshadow. So it's able to get here and hug my cheekbone and brow bone really well. I like how it just lightly fluffed my Cupid's bow. Like it's perfect. These are perfect highlighter brushes. I usually use my pointed one from, this is a pointed foundation brush from e.l.f. I like that one because you can concentrate the color more, but I feel like this one is a little bit more effortless, so I will be keeping these. The only one I didn't like was this one, and that's the M431. I did not like this one that well because it was a bit scratchy, but I'll keep it just in case I want to do like, because I think I'm going to be using my, I got the basket case liner from Kat Von D. I think this will be nice to kind of really smudge it out, so I'll use it for that. Brushes, I'm thoroughly impressed given that they are not so expensive. Now for the palette, there's a lot of color and I tried using a big broad range as much as possible, but there's a lot of palettes like this. I'm sorry guys, there is a lot of palettes like this. I have a lot of Juvia's Place palettes. I absolutely love my Juvia's Place palettes. This one is just not anything special. I do have a shade similar to this teal. It's not unique. I have a shade similar to this teal as well. I have these in my Masquerade palette. It's just like, I've seen these before. They're not unique. Honestly, I don't think this palette is unique at all. The way she always, like, because I kind of looked at her videos, and the way she described how she collaborated and worked on this palette, it's not anything special. It really isn't. I hate how you can, the colors are on the back, so you have to constantly flip. And that's what Kat Von D does. The color names are on the back, so you have to constantly flip. But at least hers, you can actually read what color it is. Unlike Kat Von D, I'm not sure which way it goes. I can guess, depending on the name of the color, how it's laid out. Because sometimes they'll lay it out exactly what it looks like up front. Like, if you were to open it up front, that's exactly the layout and it's printed on the back. Or some will do it where it's the layout of how it's set in the pan, meaning that it could be backwards. You would open it like, it's hard to describe. It's like you're seeing through it. The colors are here, and say this is a color, light vanilla color, then it would be on this side like a light vanilla color. Or, like I said, it would lay like it would in the pan, or if you were to look at this way, it'd be the same way this way. I hope you guys can understand that. It's confusing, I know. But, the fact that it's white, it doesn't get fingerprints on it, which is nice. I don't really, I mean, the colors that I really, really wanted to try was this blue, purple, and that's beautiful, but I have it in my Masquerade palette. I have it. This burnt orange, I have it in, I think, my Nubian 2 palette. I have it. So it's not like these colors are unique. It's not like I necessarily need this one. Am I going to return this? Probably, because I just don't see the appeal. I don't see the appeal. I might pick up maybe another palette, or maybe not, because I shouldn't pick up any more palettes, or I'll get some more brushes. It depends. So as for this, I am not impressed with Jaclyn Hill's palette. I don't get the appeal. I don't get the hype. I don't understand it. It just makes no sense to me at all. It is not... I mean, it's beautiful. I love the variety of colors, but like I said, I have those colors. So it's not like it's super unique and super rare. If you're a subscriber of Jaclyn Hill's, then you would probably think this is a collection piece. For me, it's just a waste of money. It was $38 online. Of course, I used my points to actually purchase it. I don't see the hype. I don't see the hype. So is there a hype in the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette? Absolutely not. I am not impressed. I'm really not. And I've seen, she does do good makeup. I've seen some of her videos while I was creating this. I was watching some of them. I was like, oh, I mean, she's not bad at it. But it's not, I mean, she selected colors that existed in the world. It's not unique. If I'm going to get a palette that's super unique, then I want a palette to be super unique. That's just the way I am. I'm like, if I don't have those colors in other palettes, I don't want it. Even though I have a plenty of palettes, there are a lot of palettes that I just don't use because I have them and it's a waste. So yeah, I'm trying not to waste my money on palettes anymore. It's just, I'm very picky about it. But like I said, I would not waste your $38 on a Jaclyn Hill palette from Morphe. It's just not impressive at all. So this is going to be returned. My video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I wanted to say thank you guys for keeping subscribed to me. I know I'm not a big channel. I know I'm not very high quality, but I do what I can with what I have, and that's what's important, I feel. But I do want to kind of reach out and say thank you guys so much for supporting me, and I wanted to know you guys' thoughts on what you think about Morphe. Have you ever used it? Do you think it's worth the money, or do you think it's like a gimmick? Do you think it's just like code this, so you know, my Morphe code, use my Morphe code? Do you think it's a way for YouTubers to get money? What do you think about Morphe? I wanted to try this because I wanted to see what the hype was all about and this Jaclyn Hill person was all about, and I mean, it's good, but it's not life-changing. So again, I will have one more Morphe palette review for you, and then yeah, that's it. I guess thank you guys so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did kind of playing around with different brands. I've never tried Morphe in my life. I've been hearing it left and right everywhere. Everybody's talking about Morphe. So I'm like, all right, let's try this out, see what it is. I am impressed with the brushes. Eyeshadow, I like it, blends really well, but it's not unique. The palette that I did is not unique. So there is one more shot that Morphe has and to redeem itself, and that's the review for the 3502 palette, which will be next. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys in my next video.